So now we're going to move on to legislative session. This is day 24th, and we're on to item 9, call of bills for final reading. Bill 11-19, Administration, Internal Audit, Inspector General Amendments. The Government Operations Committee recommends enactment with amendments. Let me just say that, let me just find my notes. Here we go. So this bill was introduced on May 7th by lead sponsors Navarro, Katz, and Friedson. And then on June 11th, Internal Auditor Bill Brogley testified on behalf of the County Executive in support with amendments. Government Operations Committee reviewed the bill on September 26th. We approved the Executive's requested amendments to the role of the Internal Auditor. Also, the Inspector General, Ms. Lamarcy, requested amendments to the role of the Inspector General and added a new sentence requiring the Council to ensure adequate funding for the Inspector General. This is something that I actually proposed as an amendment and we adopted. Also, the Inspector General's office would require increased funding in order to carry out the new responsibilities outlined in the bill. And this is something that usually we don't include in the bills, but we felt it was important to recognize this because this is making quite a major difference in what the Inspector General's office is doing at this moment and what it will have to do. Basically, the bill as amended would require the Office of Internal Audit to periodically conduct a risk analysis to identify areas of risk and accountability systems, prepare an annual work plan for the approval of the Chief Administrative Officer, and submit the work plan to the Council for comment. The bill also requires the office to submit an annual report to the Inspector General. The bill as amended by the committee would expand the Inspector General's duties by requiring the Inspector General to conduct a systematic risk-based rotating group-by-group review of the internal accounting and contracting processes and controls used by each department and principal office in the executive branch. The bill also requires the Inspector General to audit high-risk county contracts and agreements. And finally, the bill would require the Council to ensure that the operating budget for the Inspector General is sufficient to provide the services required in law. You have the packet as well, which really goes through not just the background, but then some of the particular amendments that I think did strengthen the bill. And we also want to thank Ms. Lamarcy and Mr. Brogley for participating in this particular work session. I also would like my colleagues to pay close attention on page 3 of the packet to see how other jurisdictions are funding their Inspector General's offices. And I think that you can clearly see that in our county, we do need to pay close attention and provide our Inspector General office with the resources necessary, especially in light of these additional duties that we are recommending. I would also like to recognize and appreciate Councilmember Friedson leadership on this issue. He kind of came in here and hit the ground running and identifying some areas where we all agree we needed to work on and strengthen, and so for that I really appreciate that.